Hey everybody, welcome to No Bones About Wrestling. I'm your host Asa, and I'm here with Kay Fabulous.
Hey.
And this is your AEW Dynamite 200th episode report. 200 episodes. I tell you, honestly, I never thought they'd make it.
I did not either.
So, congratulations.
It's very exciting, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations to AEW for making it to 200 episodes of their flagship show. This was August 2nd, 2023, live from Tampa, Florida. Let's get right to it. We had a tag team match opening things up. We had Chris Jericho, the leader of the Jericho Appreciation Society, teaming up with the sole member of the Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, and they were accompanied by Don Callis. And they took on two members, kind of the Jericho Appreciation Society. It's unclear what's up with the Jericho Appreciation Society, the JAS. It's unclear what's with them, but their opponents were Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Start off with a shoulder block by Jericho. We had a kip up by Guevara. Chops exchange between the two. A twisting drop kick and then a kip up by Guevara. More exchanging chops. Jericho exchanging chops with Garcia, who is in now. Garcia, quote, dancing, unquote. Takeshita comes in with a flying clothesline. Garcia running the ropes. Gets tripped by Don Callis. Garcia back in. Jericho delivers a boot in the corner to Garcia. Takeshita in, delivers a flying senton onto Garcia. An abdominal stretch by Takeshita, aided by Jericho, holding hands, holding the ropes, that deal, strengthening the abdominal stretch. Backbreaker by Takeshita on Garcia. Jericho back in, goes for the lion salt, but Garcia got his knees up. Guevara in, hits a tope suicida on the outside on Jericho. And then a spinning splash over the top to the outside by Guevara onto Takeshita. Back in the ring, Walls of Takeshita. A new move by him on Guevara. Apparently Jericho has been teaching Takeshita a thing or two. Guevara with a Spanish fly on Jericho. Jericho hits a code breaker on Daniel Garcia. A super kick by Guevara sends Takeshita out of the ring. Guevara with a shooting star press to the floor barely catches Takeshita with his arm. Looks like he might have hit Takeshita in the face. With his head, perhaps. I'm not sure. It was a messy shooting star press.
I think his hand caught his face on the way down.
Whose hand?
Sammy's hand caught Takeshita in the face on the way down.
May have been. It was a sloppy shooting star press. Barely caught Takeshita. Garcia blocks the Judas effect. Jericho goes for the Judas effect, and Garcia hits him with a kind of a discus hit. Garcia then goes for a pin, gets a 2 count. Puts Jericho in the sharpshooter next. In comes Don Callis with Floyd, the baseball bat. He hits Garcia with the bat. And Jericho actually you hear him on TV, he goes, what the fuck? And Jericho, not sure what to do at first. A member of the JAS has just been taken out by a baseball bat. But Jericho, ever the opportunist, pins Garcia and gets the win. Oh, he looks dismayed, though, as though he can't make... he's unsure what to make of the events that have transpired here. But, as I said, he does pin Garcia. Jericho and Takeshita get the tag team win to open up the 200th episode. Very good tag team match. 4 bones out of 5. And Jericho, as I said, not sure what to make of Don Callis, but I'm sure if Callis keeps helping him win matches, we know Jericho, and that's what he wants to do, is win matches and win championships. I'm sure he'll be fine with Callis's interference,
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have to say about our opening match?
I enjoyed this. Other than Garcia's stupid dancing, which I feel like he just does more and more of now during the matches. Like, he used to do it like once and be done with it, and now it has like become his thing that he does multiple times every match. It's too much dancing. At the beginning of the match, and not to talk about a kip up because it's not like really a big deal, but there was a beautiful kip up by Sammy where it was almost like a back bend. He was arched so much. It was really incredible.
Yeah. Sure.
Like crazy core strength to be able to pull that off. So I feel like it was worth noting. I thought Don Callis did a great job being like kind of a dick heel in this, because not only did he throw the bat to or slide the bat to not only did he hit Garcia with the bat, but he also earlier in the match grabbed Garcia's leg when Garcia was going to do a move. And then I just thought it was worth noting, I think the difference between the walls of Jericho and the walls of Takeshita is that Takeshita puts a knee to the back of the person's head while doing the move. I just wrote down what the move was to differentiate it.
Let's see.
Yeah, good match.
Nice way to open. So who knows what's happening with the JAS? Who knows?
Speaking of openings, we didn't mention it, but there was a special 200 episode of Dynamite intro to the show. It wasn't their normal Dynamite like picture reel.
True. Well, it was a new Dynamite picture reel, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to...
montage, some might even call it.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to keep it, or if this was just a one-off for the
I'm sure
episode.
It's just one off, yeah.
Okay.
Up next, we had Tony Khan saying, "Thanks, guys," and then talking about Dynamite making it to 200 episodes, and talking about the special people who have helped make it this far. And then they have an excellent clip show of the first 199 episodes of the show. Just an excellent clip show showing some of the high points of Dynamite. Up next, in the hallway, we see Renee catching up to Jericho, but at the same time, we see Matt Menard catching up to Jericho, and Menard tells him that there is a JAS mandatory meeting next week on Dynamite, and he tells Jericho that he better be there. Jericho walks off without saying anything. So who knows what this will be. It would be nice if they would go ahead and do something with this storyline, It seems like it's been going on a little too long.
Yeah. Well, it seems like next week they're going to finally do something with it, hopefully.
I hope so. The next segment, wow. FTW champion Jack Perry comes out, and so he says, he had a verbal scuffle with Jerry Lynn last week, talking down Jerry Lynn, talking down ECW. Jerry Lynn, of course, former ECW world champion. And Jerry Lynn comes out and says, "Look, I'm too beat up, and I've got screws and plates and all that shit in my neck, and I'm not going to fight you, and it would just be child abuse. And I don't even run the show." And then that's when I realized. That's when I realized what was about to happen. And so he said he can't fight anymore, but he brought out one of his ECW friends, in fact, someone who still wrestles, and it was Rob Van Dam. And, we knew for a fact as soon as Pantera Walk started, it was Rob Van Dam. And I saw some people online being like, why can't he use his old music? Motherfuckers, this is his old music. In WWE, it was when he couldn't use his old music. This is his old music. WWE was his new music that they couldn't use because WWE didn't want to pay Pantera the rights to use it. Tony Khan will pay Pantera the rights to use it, so he's getting to use his quote-unquote real entrance music. That's what's happening here. Just wanted to be clear on that. So yeah, I freaked out when Rob Van Dam came back.
Yes, you did.
I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. Man, shit, if not my favorite wrestler ever. I mean, he's in the top 5 for sure. Anyways, this was fantastic and phenomenal, and I didn't know until the day of. I didn't know until Wednesday that there was definite talk of bringing him in.
I knew in my heart. I could feel it.
Well, I thought it last week, but yeah, I don't like to make assumptions, I try not to. But I thought it last week, but this week, Fightful reported it. They broke a story that they were looking at bringing in RVD for at least one match. And Fightful is usually pretty good about their reporting. And it turned out they were right. They got the date wrong on the match, but they were right about him coming in for a match.
What date did they have?
They said either all in or all out, and of
okay.
course it's not. But I'll get there. So Jack Perry leaves the ring after standing face to face with RVD, and then RVD starts kind of shooting the shit with Jerry Lynn in the middle of the ring. They're just talking, and then Jack Perry returns. He swings a chair. RVD ducks under it, and he goes for a Van Daminator. RVD he walked in looking a little stiff. Looking aged, frankly, and but he went for this Van Daminator, and he did a fucking full roundhouse kick, and it looked pretty damn good.
It looked awesome.
Yeah, it looked awesome. So we'll see if he can still go. He's been wrestling off and on. I haven't seen any of these matches. I'm gonna try and track them down, but I haven't seen him wrestle in many years now.
And just to emphasize, it wasn't just a good roundhouse kick for a 50-year-old man. It was like a good roundhouse kick for anyone.
Correct.
It was awesome.
I'm not jujudging on a sliding scale. Yeah. I'm saying, like, it looked just like he looked 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It looked the exact same.
I know you know that. I wanted to make sure they knew that if they didn't get to see it.
Yeah. The kick looked just like he looked. He wasn't walking like he walked 25 years ago. And he doesn't look like he looked 25 years ago, but the kick looked like, so maybe the performance will be close to 25 years ago. Close-ish. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to track down some of his newer matches and watch, because I'm curious if he can still go or not. Perry returns, swings a chair, RVD ducks, goes for a Van Daminator. But Perry's gone. He gets out of the way. No Van Daminator. Jack Perry jumps over the barricade into the front row and uses a child as a shield against Rob Van Dam chasing him. And he puts the child down and then runs away. And then RVD plays to the crowd as the segment ends. Very awesome. One of my favorite things that has ever happened on AEW, I'll tell you that. If not my favorite thing.
Yeah, if you're going to have a big surprise for your 200th episode, this is a pretty awesome one.
Pretty goddamn good one, yeah. Up next, we had brief promos from Hikaru Shida and Women's World Champion Toni Storm. They, of course, are in the main event match later tonight. Up next, we have a 3-way Anything Goes match with Dynamite Originals. We have Trent Beretta of The Best Friends, of course accompanied by Chuck Taylor. We have Penta El Cerro Miedo, of course accompanied by Alex Abrahantes. And we have Jon Moxley, who I want to be clear, not an AEW original, but was on the first episode of Dynamite. So that is why I say Dynamite Original. So this one was wild. Penta comes in with a tope con hero on Trent. Penta slams Trent with a trash can lid. Moxley then grabs a barbed wire 2x4 from under the ring and rakes Trent with the barbed wire. Trent hits a back suplex onto the barbed wire 2x4 on Moxley. Moxley uses the barbed wire on Penta then. Trent hits a superplex on Moxley through 2 tables on the outside. They were going after it very quickly in this match. Penta kicks the back of Moxley's head. Mox turns things around with a chokehold on Penta. Trent throws a trash can at Moxley, and at this point, all 3 men are down. 2 tables are set up. So we have more tables up than we have competitors up. Double super kick on Moxley, and then Penta hits Trent with a super destroyer through a table. Moxley gets a bag of thumbtacks, pours them all over the center of the ring, and pile drives Penta into them, gets a 2 count out of that. Moxley with a front suplex with a release on Penta as his body goes flying into the thumbtacks in the ring. Moxley then with a diamond cutter on Trent into the tacks. Trent takes Moxley down for a 2 count. Penta throws a trash can at Trent then. Moxley hits a paradigm shift on Penta. Trent takes out Moxley with a knee strike before he can get to Penta to pin him. Trent covers Penta, gets the pin and the win. Sneaks in there, and Trent Beretta gets the win in this Anything Goes 3-way match on the anniversary show. Surprising.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
I didn't expect Trent Beretta to get the win. Yeah, it was a nice surprise. But he gets the pin and the win. Excellent match. Lots of spots. Like I said, they went after it. I mean, it got violent quickly, and gave it 4.5 bones out of 5. Just a fun garbage match with some violence going on, and Trent was bleeding quite a bit by the end of it as well.
What's a garbage match?
Just when I say garbage match, I mean just like weapons, like something literally.
Oh.
If I say garbage match, I mean something literally like I could do.
Okay, I thought you were complimenting it and insulting it at the same time.
In a way, yeah. In a way. Because, like I said, literally it's something anyone could do, but they don't do it. You know? Like, I could do it, but would I? No. Like, it's possible. I could do it. You get what I'm saying?
Like you could hit someone in the face with a barbed wire covered 2x4,
exactly,
but you choose
I
not
wouldn't.
to.
Yes. It's something anyone could do, but people do not choose to do.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, you know, it takes no skill, but it takes a lot of balls or dumbness or both.
There's a lot of stuff that takes skill in the match, though.
A little.
A little,
A
yeah.
little. Very little. But, criticism aside, it was a great match to watch. 4.5 bones out of 5. Mox puts Trent in a choke. He is not happy that he lost the match. And then we see Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy are heading down to the ring. And so are Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. And these two groups kind of head each other off and are fighting outside the ring. And then eventually they make it to the ring. We get an orange punch by Orange Cassidy on Moxley. And a bit of fighting. And after it's over, Chuck Taylor says, well, this didn't settle a goddamn thing, did it? And so Chuck Taylor challenges Jon Moxley and Claudio to a fight in the parking lot at Daly's a fight in the parking lot at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Friday on Rampage. So we're going to see Best Friends versus Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley Friday in a parking lot fight. That sounds like that's going to be a good one. Hopefully no one gets hurt.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see Sue.
Yeah. No, we'll see. We'll see if we see Sue. Next, we get a video montage, a look back at MJF and Adam Cole losing in their tag team title match to FTR at Collision on Saturday. Next, Renee is with Rob Van Dam, and he says he wants to beat Jungle Jerk and then retire, and then win and retire the FTW title. So hopefully he does that. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see Rob Van Dam versus Perry. Hopefully Perry is a good opponent for him.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam doesn't want to retire. He wants to retire the title, just to make that super clear.
Right. Yeah, Rob Van Dam still has a couple matches every year. Up next, our world champion MJF comes out. He tells a story about when he was assaulted with quarters. He says when this group of boys came up with fistfuls of quarters and threw them at him, and then said, "Pick them up, Jew boy, pick them up." And he says it changed him, and he thought everybody was a piece of shit, and so he thought he had to be a piece of shit, and hurt people before they hurt him. And he goes through all this, talking about how he has ADD, and how his ADD causes other disorders in him, and eventually he gets around to saying, to addressing the fact that the fans have been cheering him lately, and he says, "I'm still a scumbag, but God damn it, I'm ready to be your scumbag." And so he says he's a changed man. And the fans, chanting MJF, and
they were chanting, "He's our scumbag," for a while,
chanting,
too.
"Yeah, he's our scumbag." So MJF looks like is officially a face now, I guess. Adam Cole comes out and says he's impressed with MJF, and he tells him the fans love him. And MJF tells Adam Cole that he's decided he's not giving him a title match. And the fans are booing, and they're pissed off, and, because MJF told him he was getting a title match. He said he's not giving him a title match, he's giving him the title match. The main event of All In. 70, however many thousand, 76, 77,000 fans at All In, August 27th in London. Roderick Strong sees this, and we see him backstage watching on a monitor, and he flips out, and he's in his neck brace. So he can't move his head, so he looks absolutely ridiculous. And he's destroying things backstage, but without being able to move his head, so he looks like Frankenstein or something, and he's destroying things backstage as Strong. And the Kingdom walk up to him and say, "Adam Cole, always forgetting his real friends." And that's where the segment ends. So we've got something brewing here, With all this, we got a lot of moving parts, and who says AEW doesn't have storylines? We've got one here for sure with MJF, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong, and now the Kingdom thrown into it as well. Very interesting storytelling here. And how often do we say that for AEW?
For AEW, never.
Never. It's not that they do poor storytelling; it's just that they don't normally try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When they do try, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Like here, so it makes you want more. So Tony Khan, more stories with the matches, please.
Please. So I'm very curious to see where you think this is going with the Kingdom now. Because this is the second week in a row that we've had the Kingdom on AEW.
Well, the first question is, where is it going with Roderick Strong?
Well, that's what I meant. Do you think he's going to join the Kingdom and become a baddie?
I don't know. I would have to think about it. Because I'm not sure where this is going.
Because that could be a cool trios group, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure where it's going. Looks like we're going to start seeing the Kingdom on AEW, though.
Yeah, so. I'm so excited. I like the Kingdom a lot.
Yeah, they're excellent. Yeah. Up next, we have a trios match. We have the Elite, part of the Elite, at least. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, accompanied by Brandon Cutler. And they are taking on the Freaks, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh, and they are accompanied by Sanjay Dutt and Karen Jarrett.
Wait, is that what they're actually called? Or
No.
That's just your name for them?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I missed something somehow.
No.
Okay.
Omega and Jarrett start with chain wrestling here. Jarrett then gives his signature strut. Satnam Singh tags in, and Matt Jackson is in there. He thinks he's ready to face off against Singh. And Singh comes and stands chest to face with Matt Jackson. And Matt Jackson quickly realizes he's not ready for Singh. He looks for a tag, and in a funny bit, Omega and Nick Jackson both look away and walk down the ring steps away from Matt Jackson. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Eventually here, Singh steps on Nick. Nick Jackson gets in. Singh steps on him. Jarrett chokes Nick on the middle rope. Karen Jarrett interferes on Nick Jackson. Jay Lethal with an arm drag, a flip. Thrown into the turnbuckle. Kicks by Lethal on Nick Jackson. Jeff Jarrett goes for a Russian leg sweep, but gets hit by Nick Jackson. Kenny Omega now in with Jay Lethal, and Omega goes for You Cannot Escape. But he hits the Fireman's Carry Slam portion of it. But Satnam Singh catches him when he jumps onto the turnbuckle, and Satnam Singh attempts a choke slam, but doesn't get it. Omega with Polish hammers on Lethal and Jarrett. The Bucks now in, and they double super kick Lethal and Jarrett. Omega back in, hits a V-trigger on Singh, while Singh is on his knees. Omega tries the one-winged angel on Singh, but Dutt knocks Singh off of Omega's shoulders. Just a note, Omega had Singh on his shoulders over by the ropes, so Singh could push up on the ropes. Omega didn't actually lift Singh up on his shoulders, just so we're clear here. You know, it would have crushed him. Karen Jarrett interferes with the ref, and then Brandon Cutler cold sprays her in the face. The Hardys come down now, apparently to stop Karen Jarrett and Sanjay Dutt's interference. And Jeff hits the Twist of Fate on Dutt. Dutt sells it ridiculously. Double J now has a guitar, looking to hit Kenny Omega with it. Jarrett misses as Omega rolls out of the way. Hangman Page just arrives out of nowhere, hits Jarrett with the buckshot lariat. Omega hits a one-winged angel on Lethal for the pin and the win. The Elite pick up the win in trios action. Very fun match here. I'm going to give it 4 bones out of 5. Hopefully the Elite are back in contention for the trios titles. After the match, Hangman Page announces that the Elite have re-signed with AEW for multiple years. Very exciting news. So hopefully now everyone can shut the fuck up. Talking about how Kenny Omega and Page and the Bucks are all going to WWE and this and that and the other, and it just never was going to happen, obviously.
So that's all 4 of them, right? All 4 of them signed multi-year
correct.
contracts? Okay,
correct.
Cool. Just double checking.
And Omega, he says, we're going to see more of them on Dynamite, on Rampage. He says, heck, maybe even on Collision, you know? Or I think he doesn't say heck. I think he doesn't say maybe. I think he says heck, even on Collision.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he did say maybe, but now I can't remember.
I don't think he said maybe.
I wrote down Omega says we might even see them on Collision. So I think he did say maybe. Nonetheless, who knows? And Omega then, of course, says goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang. The signature goodbye phrase. So, pretty good matches so far. Kay, what do you have to say about this match?
So, I didn't write it down, but was Rick Knox the ref in this match? Do you remember?
And I don't recall.
I don't recall either, but based on what happened in the match, I kind of feel like he had to have been. There was so much shenanigans in this match. It was so fun. Like, I'm not normally for a bunch of, like, run-ins and outside involvement. But in this case, I feel like they really made it work well as part of, like, the story that they were telling.
Well, remember, it was no DQ, so...
Oh. I did not remember that. So that makes way more sense then. Because I was like, everyone is cheating. Because, like, the Young Bucks come in and are super kicking people when they're not the legal people, which is so unface-like. But that makes sense. I didn't realize it was a non-DQ match.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a beautiful moonsault at one point by Kenny, but Lethal got his knees up in time due to outside distractions. One thing that was a kind of fun part, a fun moment, the 3 bad guys, Jarrett, Jay, and Singh, mocked the Elite's pose.
That
was funny. With Satnam Singh in the Kenny Omega spot. Yeah, really all my you've covered all my notes about like things that happened. But just I really enjoy the outside interference. I'm hoping that the Hardys coming down and interfering means that we're going to get a Hardys story going here. It was good to see Jeff back doing something. So I'm hoping that now that they're both here and both healthy, we'll start to get a storyline or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man. Could be a for a tag title shot at All In or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Hardys... Oh, shit, I just realized Jeff Hardy may not be allowed to go to London.
Oh.
Because I don't think he was allowed to in Canada.
Well, different countries have different rules. But
yeah, I don't think I've seen Jeff Hardy on any of the advertisements. I'm not sure. Well, we'll look into that. Okay. Just realized that. Make a note to look into that.
Okay.
We will find out and get back to you, kind listener. I want to go back for a second before we go on. I want to go back for a second and ask, what do you think is going to happen? We've got Cole and MJF. Finally, we have a match for All In.
Mm-hmm.
We have Cole getting his world title shot rematch against MJF. What's going to happen?
Between the two of them, you mean?
Yeah.
They have done such a good job turning MJF face. Like, if you had told me a month ago that he was going to be now one of the hottest faces in the company, I would not have believed you because of how hot he was as the biggest heel in the company. So I don't see them having him turn anytime soon back into a heel. So MJF has fooled the dumb babyface Adam Cole into thinking that he's now a dumb babyface, and he's also successfully fooled me. I think he's now a dumb babyface also. So I think they're going to have like a friendly match. I don't know who I think is going to win that. I want to see some of the build before I decide. I'm really hoping. I mean, if MJF loses, I think he's gonna lose his mind. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Because I want him to stay a face for a while. What do you think?
Well, we've got Roderick Strong involved in this.
We do.
What do you think about that?
Very, very much on the periphery right now. I don't know if they're going to kind of do like a little side story of him building up to becoming evil, and him with the kingdom in some way, and then maybe after All In have something happen, or if he's going to cost Adam Cole the title at All In, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of directions they can take this in, and I feel like with all this new information we've just gotten, it's a little too early to make a solid prediction. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I think MJF being a nice guy is not going to last. I think MJF and Roderick Strong are going to... I tell you what I would do is I would end up having MJF and Roderick Strong be in cahoots.
Really?
And Roderick Strong, all this is just acting. And the same for MJF. It's just an act. And have MJF keep his belt at All In. And the end of All In is MJF winning with aid from Roderick Strong, and then the two of them just beating the unmerciful shit out of Adam Cole. And then maybe someone saving Adam Cole. I'm not sure who.
Kyle O'Reilly, whatever his name is.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Thank you. If he's well, that would be a good choice, because I think a lot of people thought that they were going to form some sort of old NXT member trio.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be a good option for the person to come and save them.
That would be a possibility. I just thought of this just now, so I don't have the face that would be helping, but some face would have to help him. You can't have Adam Cole just get his ass beat. Keith Lee could be a possibility. But that's just a thought.
Why Keith Lee?
Because he and Adam Cole have an on-screen friendship, so it would make sense. Yes, it would make sense.
Wow, I really don't remember that.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see. That's just was curious what you thought. All right, let's head on. After the trios match, we had a vignette with the Mogul Embassy. Well, we had a promo first. A.R. Fox says he's going to take away everything he gave Darby Allin. We have A.R. Fox, Swerve Strickland, and Prince Nana standing in a stairwell. And A.R. Fox says he's going to take away everything he gave Darby Allin. And the next thing we see is these three men showing up at the Buddy Wayne Academy. And Swerve says it's exactly what he expected, a complete shithole. And then he laughs. He's got this great villain laugh.
Yeah, he does.
Swerve is fantastic. He really is. So it's nice to see. He's such a good heel. He's one of the best, if not the best, heel they have. And it's nice to see them giving him something to do. Not only something, but something good. Like, this is interesting and entertaining what's about to go down. They bust open Nick Wayne with something. I don't even know what it was.
It was a framed picture of him and his father.
Is that what they busted open?
Yeah, they shatter it on his head.
Well, they did a good job not getting glass on it. Not getting blood on it, I mean. So they shatter a picture of him and his father on his head. And then they call Darby Allin on Nick Wayne's phone And I guess the face recognition won't open it because there's so much blood on Nick Wayne's face. So then Nick Wayne has to put in his passcode. They call Darby Allin saying, we're the ghosts of your past and we're here to haunt you. So that's a pretty good line.
It's an awesome line.
Yeah. And they eventually throw Nick Wayne's phone through the glass window before they leave. This was just fantastic. So, A.R. Fox is pissed because Darby Allin was a student of his, and he says Darby Allin, when he made it to AEW, he never got a phone call, a text, nothing from Darby Allin. And so he's pissed off. And they're fucking with Nick Wayne because, he's friends with Darby Allin. So they're trying to hurt Darby Allin by going to people that he cares about. And that's a good way to do it. And also trying to hurt Nick Wayne by, going after the spirit of his father, his memories of his father, rather.
It's worth noting that the picture that was framed that got broken on his head was a picture of him and his dad. And then Swerve took the picture and said, "I'm going to put this where you were sitting when you found out he's dead," or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
which was on the mat.
On the mat, yeah.
Yeah, just excellent storytelling here. This segment was a 5 out of 5. I tell you that. It was terrific. Terrific. Up next, we have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Title match. Aussie Open put their belts on the line against AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo and his partner Commander, and they're accompanied by Alex Abrahantes. This one was great. Vikingo and Commander, their uniforms are great. They're blue, and they have this luminescent. Vikingo has a V on the back, Commander has a K, and they look like comic book covers from 1992, and I love it. Vikingo, with a Matrix-like evasion when Irish whipped into the ropes by Fletcher, starts us off. He hits a springboard crossbody and then a spinning flying head scissors. Vikingo does. There's a super kick to Davis. And then Commander walks on Vikingo's shoulder, then comes off with a Hurricane Rana. The champions double-team Commander. Commander flies off, caught by Davis, thrown off into Fletcher's high knee. Commander thrown in the air by Davis and drilled down to the mat by Fletcher. They go for the end early, get a 2 count. Commander tries to walk the ropes and do some move, but he's knocked down by Fletcher. Commander keeps himself on the ropes, though, but just with his back on the top rope and his legs holding him up. So, as I said, he's hit down by Fletcher. Fletcher then tries to knock Commander off the ropes, but as he does, Commander drops down and is hanging off the ropes on the bottom of the top rope, rather than hanging and suspending himself on the top. So he kind of flips down like a bat or something. It was awesome. And Fletcher misses him. Fletcher charges and flies out of the ring. Commander flips himself off of Davis's chest. Vikingo comes running, jumps off of Commander, and nails a drop kick. Vikingo kicks Fletcher. Vikingo comes in with a guillotine leg drop. Champs grab the challengers. They run around the ring on the outside and collide their bodies together. Fletcher body slams Commander. Commander attempts a super kick. Davis blocks it. Davis catches a Commander kick, picks him up for a suplex, passes him off for the suplex, And Commander gets nailed with a suplex. 2 count only. Davis misses a senton. Vikingo with a drop kick to Davis, a roundhouse to Fletcher. Covers Fletcher for a 2 count. Davis has Vikingo up. Fletcher flips him around. Aussie open, double elbow on either side of his head. Davis holding Vikingo. Commander runs off his partner's back and jumps onto Fletcher with a Canadian destroyer. This was amazing. Vikingo, right after that, hits a crucifix bomb on Davis. And then both faces rope run and come off with simultaneous moonsaults to the outside. Back in the ring, Vikingo and Commander hit simultaneous 450 splashes on Davis and come very close to ending the match, get a 2.5 count. Commander is then double clotheslined, and the champs hit the Coriolis for the pin and the win. Aussie Open defend and keep their Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. This match was awesome. 5 bones out of 5. I saw multiple things I'd never seen before, and that is why Vikingo and Commander are so amazing. I've seen a lot of wrestling, and these guys aren't just doing the same thing every match. Every time I see these two, one or the other, or both together like this, every time I see them, they're doing something I've never seen before. And, cheers to Aussie Open for participating in it as well. Doing these spots never before seen and handling them so well. This was a fantastic match. 5 bones out of 5. Just terrific. And so, if you missed all of Dynamite, you don't have a lot of time to catch it, just fast forward to, just over halfway through, watch this match. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team title match. Fantastic. Kay, what do you have to say about this match?
Well, you covered it pretty much like movement for movement because there were so many high spots in this match, which is understandable. I think the only thing that you didn't mention, maybe, was at the very beginning, there was a really great dodge by Vikingo through the ropes early on, where he kind of, used the top and middle rope, the parallel bars. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I didn't get anything that you didn't mention. I will tell you my favorite moves in the match, or some of them. When Commander flipped off the chest of Davis and then, landed in the Marvel pose, the superhero pose, and then Vikingo launched himself off the back. That was one of the coolest things I've seen. And then one thing I wanted to emphasize, you mentioned that they did a simultaneous rope walk. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to emphasize they were walking on the same rope.
Right.
That's so, amazing. That's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Because rope walking, period, is super hard. But when you have someone else applying pressure and whose weight is shifting, it's just crazy. It's crazy to me. That is the craziest thing I have seen in wrestling. I don't understand how they did that. But it was awesome.
These two are amazing. Yeah. They're amazing. Vikingo is my favorite wrestler right now. Well, Rob Van Dam's back, so it's Rob Van Dam. So Vikingo is my second favorite wrestler right now. These two are my favorite tag team. I hope they have more matches together. For the love of God, give them some belts. Give them some of each belts. Mm-hmm. They deserve it. Fantastic match. This was match of the night.
Yeah.
Up next, we had a CM Punk kind of a promo video about the X mark. If you missed Collision, he brought out his world title belt from when he was stripped of the title, when he was injured. He brought out his world title belt, and he spray painted straight through it his signature X for being straight edge, and that is now known as, quote, the real world title. And this promo video was about how long he's been using the X, the straight edge X, to simplify himself. I'm not sure if simplify is a word. I don't think it is. I was just wondering about that. I like it. We're going with simplify. Symbolize. I don't know. represent himself, I'm going to say. But yeah, he's been using the axe for a long time. So let's see. Some matches announced for Collision. Coming up August 5th, Collision is airing against WWE SummerSlam. So you would think that they would want to advertise a full card in hopes that you watch Collision instead of SummerSlam, which has a full card advertised. This is not what AEW is doing. They've announced 3 matches for Collision. And they seem good, but as I said, announce more, and maybe people will watch your show instead of watching SummerSlam. We'll see. But for Collision this Saturday, CM Punk defends the quote-unquote real world title against Absolute Ricky Starks. And the special guest outside referee is former World Heavyweight Champion Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Should be a good one. Also, TBS champion Chris Statlander defends her belt against Mercedes Martinez. And the World Tag Team Champions, FTR, put their belts on the line against Big Bill and 1/3 of the Ring of Honor Trios Champions, Brian Cage. That tag team is just awesome, Big Bill and Brian Cage. They need to keep those two together.
I agree.
Alright, up next is the main event. Oh, I'm sorry, we have one more match announced, not for Collision, but for Dynamite next week. And that, of course, is the FTW title match. Jack Perry defends the belt against Rob Van Dam next week on Dynamite.
And that is a FTW rules match.
Yeah, which basically means a hardcore no DQ match. So I think we'll see some chairs and things like that used in the match, and I cannot fucking wait. Alright, so for the main event, it is the AEW Women's World Title match. We have the champion, Toni Storm, accompanied by Saraya and Ruby Soho, her fellow outcasts. And she's defending against former Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida. The women, they come out and they exchange hard forearm strikes to start this match. It's obvious that they said to each other, man, this show's been awesome. We got to come out and do it. Mm-hmm. And they did. And they came out with some hard forearm strikes. Cheetah is punching and forearm striking the shit out of Storm. I wrote, snap suplex by Cheetah into the turnbuckle. Toni Storm's legs went into the turnbuckle, that is. Storm drives Cheetah into the guardrail and into the ring apron. Back and forth. She drove her back first. Snap suplex by Storm. This was interesting. Toni Storm stood on Cheetah's hair and pulled her arms up. Looked painful. Toni Storm applied a full Nelson. Shades of Billy Jack Haynes. It's an NWA guy from the 80s, just so you don't know who he is. Storm tried her running hip attack, and Cheetah grabbed her for a German suplex. Cheetah then hit a top rope Meteora, got a 2 count on Storm. Storm hits the hip attack this time, gets a 2 count. A high knee attack, then a Falcon Arrow by Cheetah. The Outcasts throw in Cheetah's kendo stick. They throw it in for Toni Storm, obviously. However, Cheetah intercepts. Toni Storm is asking her to hit her, because then, Cheetah would get disqualified. Storm keeps her belt. Cheetah does not listen. She hits Ruby Soho and Saraya with it, and that knocks them off of the ring apron. Toni then, the ref is distracted with the other outcasts, and Toni sprays spray paint right in Cheetah's face and grabs her, hits the Storm Zero. This match looks over for the... this match looks over. Storm covers Cheetah for the 1, 2, and Cheetah kicks out. Storm attempts another Storm 0. However, Cheetah reverses the weight of the move. High stack Storm for the pin and the win. We have a new Women's World Champion. Hikaru Shida is a 2-time World Champion. And this match gets 4 bones out of 5. Fantastic show. The lowest rated match was 4 bones out of 5 on this show. I think there were, 2 4 bones, 1 4.5 bone, a 5 bone. I'm missing some match, but I mean, just wow.
Mm-hmm.
The match quality was really excellent on this show, as was the promo quality and the vignette quality. This is one of the best TV episodes AEW has ever done.
I completely agree.
If not the best.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you have to say about the main event? Okay.
I loved it. I loved how hard-hitting the women were. And like you said, it was like right out of the gate with those brutal forearms. There was a good shoulder tackle by Cheetah, and she just went right into face punches on the mat on Toni Storm. On the outside, Storm was like laying in the ring with her face hanging off the apron, face down, and Cheetah did a running knee strike to her face. Looked pretty brutal. There was a hip attack to Cheetah on the outside by Toni, which Toni then distracted the refs that allowed the Outcasts to get some attacks in on Cheetah. I just felt like it was really good. It was a really good use of the Outcasts on the outside. A lot of times they're just there to be like annoying and to like heckle the crowd, but I felt like they actually used them quite well. The crowd was very vocally for Cheetah in this match, so I was excited for her when she won. That especially because like before when she had the title, it was the pandemic, and so there wasn't a crowd, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice that she got that moment.
Yeah, no, definitely happy for Cheetah. Sorry that Toni Storm's reign is over, but she will reign again. I'm sure of it. Yeah, excellent show. So. Just a couple things I'm going to cover before we end. So going back, Matt Menard calls a Jericho Appreciation Society mandatory meeting for next week, tells Jericho to be there. What do you think is happening, Kay?
I think they're having like an intervention type situation where, or just like a clear the air meeting, to establish whether this is going to continue or not. I mean, they already lost Jake Hager.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Hager? Jake Hager.
Jake
Hager. As a member. And so it'll be interesting to see who shows up as members of the JAS for this meeting.
Right.
Because it's been unclear as to whether Sammy and Garcia are even still in it and still consider themselves members.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be. I think that'll be the most interesting thing at first, is to see who comes to the meeting.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So will the JAS exist after next Wednesday?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Which is good. I mean, I think it's time for something different.
Yeah, I agree. And then Jericho with Don Callis will be interesting. And just another revival in Chris Jericho's career where he continues to reinvent himself, depending upon who he's with and, what he's trying to do at the time. So it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
One thing I'm looking forward to is I know we'll no longer have to say Anna JAS.
Yeah.
Because that's stupid. It's like Nikki ASH. It's not a good name.
So Jack Perry, just going back through some other things that happened on the episode. Jack Perry versus Rob Van Dam next week on Dynamite. Who do you like?
Rob Van Dam.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think
you think he's gonna win? and end the FTW title, even though Jack Perry just got it?
I don't know.
Because this will
I'm going to say Rob Van Dam.
Well, this will be his first defense of it since he had it. Is that correct?
Correct. So I'm going to say Rob Van Dam wins and retires the FTW title. Although they did just put out their video game with the FTW title on it, but...
Yeah, but also all the storylines on the game, or all the face-heel things are mixed up on the game, because it's an old version of AEW, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we'll see. I think that may be about it. So, women's world title. Hikaru Shida has the belt. Where do they go from here? Do they reestablish the women's, the homegrown? It would have been a nice opportunity for the women to come out and celebrate with Cheetah, but they didn't do that. They had Cheetah celebrating alone. So is that over?
I think maybe they didn't want to take away from the moments, but I mean, you still have the Outcasts together, so...
Yeah, they should have had whoever the homegrowns are come out. I mean, they're together, kind of. I guess they're not now.
They're not. I mean, they're not.
Okay, like, so they're not. We're done with that?
I think they're going to continue in this undefined realm of, like, nebulous homegrown versus a defined group of the Outcasts. Yeah. Which I hope they don't do that. But I think, based on the history of the women's division, that is what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see a clearly defined homegrown group to feud against them.
Right. That's what the Outcasts need to do. They need to reload by bringing in Athena, get some fresh blood here, and, you know, at some point attack Cheetah and let Cheetah know that she can't do it alone, and then get some homegrowns back and redefine them, and then get this feud going for real. Yeah. Get it going for real. Because it's been going a while, but here and there on one match a show, when sometimes the match doesn't involve either faction, isn't much of a way to have a feud, you know. So it feels like it's been going on for a while, but if you look at how much they've actually fought or how much time they've actually been on screen against each other, it's not been a quote-unquote long feud. Yeah. So, like I said, just reload the Outcasts, reestablish the homegrown talent, and let's do this for real now, you know? And have it end in a women's blood and guts, the first ever women's blood and guts.
That'd be cool.
That's what I say. Alright, well, that's going to do it for us, folks. AEW Dynamite 200th episode was excellent. If you didn't see it and you're an AEW fan, you gotta watch it. Hopefully you recorded it. You gotta watch it. It changed. I mean, it's a defining show for them. It changed a lot about the company. We got MJF as a face. We got Jericho joining a new group. We got the JAS dissolving. We got a new women's champion. We got Rob Van Dam arriving. What the hell else do we have?
We have a new women's champion.
I said that, I thought.
Oh.
We got the Mogul Embassy establishing themselves. I mean, we've got a lot happening in just this show, so it's one to see, for sure. We got MJF and Cole continuing as faces.
We got the Kingdom showing up.
The Kingdom showing up. We got Vikingo and Commander as a tag team with matching outfits, which makes it seem like they're going to be a tag team going forward sometimes. Just awesome. Just an awesome show. Alright. Well, the next time you will hear from us will be, let me think, will be Sunday. We'll have 2 shows come out Sunday. We'll have your SummerSlam wrap-up, and we will have your AEW Collision wrap-up and review show. So 2 shows coming up Sunday. I'm not sure. We'll probably do the SummerSlam first on Sunday, should be available early Sunday afternoon. And the AEW Collision show should be available early Sunday evening. Or sometime Sunday evening, I should say. But yeah, so wherever you listen to podcasts, make sure to subscribe to us. That's how you don't miss a podcast, because we do special ones from time to time that are not just AEW reviews. We just did one about the American Nightmare Becoming Cody Rhodes documentary. That's a good one to check out. So yeah, subscribe so you don't miss a podcast. And wherever you listen to podcasts, rate us. Give us 5 bones. Give us 5 stars. Give us 5 whatever they'll let you. Or 10. Whatever the highest is. And that way, we get new fans and we can talk to people about wrestling. All of us can talk together. And it'll be a beautiful world. So, for Kay Fabulous, this is Asa signing off and saying, as Mick Foley would say, have a nice day. Bye.